Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 44 of the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast with me, your host, Oluoke. As you all know, it's all good news on today's episode of the podcast. Africa Cup of Nations kicked off on Sunday, and Nigeria kicked off our campaign yesterday against Egypt. And honestly, it was just a very, very, very pleasant day. As you know, we kicked off our AFCON campaign and the Austin Ogavon interim era with a bang, with the brilliant 1-0 win over the Pharaohs of Egypt, courtesy of Kelechi Iheanacho's fantastic goal. Aribo assist. I told you Aribo was going to do his job. And it was undoubtedly the best performance we've seen from the first match day of Africa Cup of Nations so far by any team. And it's safe to say that it's immediately changed the expectations and also the perception of the Super Eagles for this tournament. So how did we line up against Egypt? It was almost the lineup I expected, to be honest. I think it was a 4-2-3-1 formation. Maduka Okoye started in goal. Ola Aina started at right back. Troost Ekong started at centre back alongside Kenneth Amero. Chidozie Awaziem was not even named among the substitutes, so that lets me know that he was definitely still injured or carrying an injury. Zaidu Sanusi started at left back. Ndidi and Aribo continued in their usual pivot for Nigeria. Kelechi Iheanacho played in the hole just behind the striker. Moses Simon started on the left wing, which was good to see because that's his preferred position for Nantes, where he plays in his club football. And Samuel Chukwueze started on the right wing with Taiwo Awoniyi leading the line as the number 9 for the Super Eagles. So a lot of players we expected to start, but I must say it was an exceptional performance. AFCON allows 5 substitutes. So we did see Chidera Ejike replace Chukwueze with 15 minutes to go. Sadiq Umar also replaced Taiwo Awoniyi to get his to make his debut for Nigeria. Semi Ajayi also made his tournament debut for Nigeria, replacing Kenneth Amero. Kelechi Nwakali also made his debut for the Super Eagles, replacing Kelechi Iheanacho with about 10 minutes to go. And finally, Alex Iwobi also came on in stoppage time to replace Moses Simon, who it must be said was excellent throughout the game. So how did the game go? In terms of general statistics, Nigeria had 15 shots to Egypt's 4. Egypt were really, really poor. I mean, it was a combination of them just being silly and also just Nigeria played so well. So Egypt had 4 shots, 2 on target, both pretty tame efforts that Maduka Okoye was able to mop up. On the other hand, we had 5 shots on target from our 15 shots, and you could argue we should have scored a lot more goals if we were a bit more clinical. Possession-wise, the Egyptians had 57% while we had 43%, which almost seems surprising, but I remember watching Egypt play a lot of balls in between their back post and not really doing much. It was like when you watch Arsenal and El Neni just pass the ball to the left and to the right, just sideways passing. It's not making sense. Nothing's happening. And in terms of corner kicks, we had 6 to Egypt's 3. I thought we dealt with their corner kicks really well, to be fair. We won all the first balls. We just looked hungrier. We just looked ready. We won almost every 50-50 battle in the game. We looked like our players were full of energy. They looked like they could play 90 minutes without stopping. They had the determination, the drive, the grit. It looked like Ogavon told them everything. Look, you're playing for not just yourselves, your families, your country, 200 million people, your careers. If you beat Egypt, the news is going to reverberate all over the world. And really and truly, it reverberated all over the world. And I just love all the praise Nigeria have been getting since the game yesterday. Honestly, I was so happy. Nigeria played so well. It was probably our best performance in maybe 3 years. Probably since the 2018 World Cup qualifiers when we were thrashing Cameroon 4-0 and beating Algeria. It was just such a good performance. Everybody was good. Literally, the entire team was clutch. Even thinking about it makes me happy right now, honestly. And it's put us in the driving seat in our group, obviously. We know we didn't want to finish second because we want to avoid either Ivory Coast or Algeria. If we finish first, we'll play one of the third-place teams. So we're looking very, very good. I just hope we remain humble and we don't take anything for granted. In terms of the key moments of the game, the first 20-25 minutes, to be fair, were pretty bland. We did dominate proceedings, to be fair. We had most of the ball and most of the chances. Although you notice that no one really created any chances or shots in the first 20-25 minutes of the game. In the 25th minute, Moses Simon had a poor cross. It was a theme throughout the game. He was really, really good, but his final delivery from crossing left a lot to be desired. Our first big chance of the game actually fell to Moses Simon as well. So Joaribo, with a really nice pass, left foot, passed it through the defender, and Moses Simon was not really one-on-one. It was a bit of an awkward angle. He could have taken it first time, but he took a touch and then hit the ball in the side netting. So that was a bit unfortunate because I thought he could have done better with that. And then shortly after the 29th minute, Nigeria scored. So it was one of the few decent crosses we actually saw from Moses Simon throughout the game. He crossed the ball in. An Egyptian defender went for a duel with Taiwo Awoniyi and headed the ball. He half cleared the ball. He didn't clear the ball that well. And it dropped into the path of Aribo, who just nodded the ball straight into the path of Kelechi Iheanacho. Kelechi Iheanacho just took one touch with his chest and unleashed his lethal left foot straight into the top right corner. Fantastic goal, honestly. I wish I recorded my excitement when this goal went in. We also have to remember this is Kelechi Iheanacho's first AFCON for Nigeria, so he was keen to impress, and boy did he impress. Fantastic goal. In all the AFCON games so far, most of the ties have ended 1-0 or 0-0. So it was very, very crucial to get that first goal, and I knew that whoever scored the first goal was more than likely going to win the game. So I'm just glad it was us. And Kelechi was brilliant. In the 37th minute of the game, Taiwo Awoniyi almost got a ball from a Kelechi pass. Kelechi Iheanacho and Taiwo Awoniyi played really well together. You could tell they've played together before, which they did in the Under-17 World Cup back in 2015, I believe. So you could just see that synergy in their gameplay. In the 41st minute of the game, Kelechi Iheanacho passed the ball to Awoniyi, who had quite a decent chance, but he shot straight at El Shanawi, the Egyptian goalkeeper. 43rd minute, we had another dangerous cross by Moses Simon, but no one was there to attack it. After the first half, we had 5 attempts and 2 shots on target. So a very, very good performance from the Super Eagles, and we completely smothered the Egyptians. In the second half, we had 10 attempts, and we just ran riot, even though we didn't score any goals in the second half. Omeru had a header from a corner kick. So I think corner kicks are one of the few things that we could probably improve on, apart from our efficiency in front of goal. Taiwo Awoniyi also hit the bar in the 47th minute, so it looked like the ball was going out of play. But Ola Aina ran towards the ball. Just before it went out, he managed to carve out a cross from the right wing, and Taiwo Awoniyi headed the ball, but unfortunately hit the bar and stayed out of the goal. In the 56th minute of the game, Ola Aina had another surging run. He was amazing. I'm going to talk about him later. But Kelechi should have scored. Ola Aina ran towards the goalkeeper and the ball broke towards Kelechi. But remember, he took a heavy first touch with his left foot and the chance left. But on another day, Kelechi should have scored that goal and it would have been 2-0. Also, Kelechi was feeling himself after he scored that first goal. So he had 1 or 2 other chances. 65th minute, he blasted a shot with his left foot, literally wide of the left post, even though it was probably a smarter decision to cross the ball or pass the ball. 68th minute, we saw an Ola Aina shot, which led to a corner kick. The only real chance Egypt had in the game that could have led to a goal was in the 70th minute. So Mo Salah kind of was on through a goal, but you could say Ekogun, Omeru smothered him or had him covered, and he took a bit of a tame effort towards Maduka Okoye with his left foot off balance, which Okoye saved easily. In the 71st minute, that's when Sadiq Umar came on for his Super Eagles debut, and that's when Ejike came on for Chukwueze. Ejike is usually better on the left wing, which Eguavon also acknowledged, but because Moses Simon was playing so well, he couldn't take Moses Simon off, so he decided to take Chukwueze off, who was playing on the right wing, and allow Ejike play on the right wing. In the 74th minute, there was another dangerous cross from us from a corner kick, which dropped into the box, but no one was really alert to the ball. No one was reacting. I thought that was a good opportunity for us to score a third goal. And then in the final moments of the game, we saw Chido Ejike shoot straight at the goalkeeper twice. In stoppage time, he literally could have squared the ball to one of his teammates, but decided to take a shot, which led to a corner kick, to be fair. But you could say with slightly better decision-making, Nigeria would have scored 2, 3, or 4 goals in this game, to be fair. So we're the best players of the game. Kelechi Iheanacho, I mean, that just goes without saying. The most difficult task in football is putting the ball in the back of the net. And as we'll see by the results of all the other AFCON games, Scoring a goal cannot be taken for granted, and he took his chance excellently in his first AFCON game with a fantastic goal. Moses Simon was excellent. This was his best performance for the Super Eagles, probably ever, or at least since the Cameroon World Cup qualifier back in 2017. He was a menace for the Egyptians all game. I saw a lot of anecdotes about how Moses tormented the Egyptians and stuff like that, but honestly, he was amazing. He had the beating of his fullback the entire match. In fact, the first fullback that Egypt had to be substituted after 5 or 10 minutes. And the guy who came on just kept getting worked by Moses Simon. He put him on toast the whole game. Honestly, it was amazing. And just with the slightly better end product from Moses Simon, he could have ended this game with 2 or 3 assists, honestly. He was that good. So shout out Moses Simon, and I'm sure he'll start the next game. Ola Aina was amazing for Nigeria. I'm sorry, I thought it was Ola Aina's best match for Super Eagles as well. It was like he had a jetpack, like a Duracell jetpack on his back. Consistent energy throughout the game, great in the attacking phase of play, great in the defensive phase of play. The amount of times he was able to help Ekong whenever he needed support when the Egyptians had a bit of a semblance of an attack. And in the attacking phase, he was going, man. I've already run through some of the opportunities. Orlando took shots, put the ball back for some of his teammates, and he was just lively the entire match. Honestly, he made me so happy. Shout out Chelsea, man. Coburn boy. Coburn product. He was amazing. I thought our centre-back pairing was amazing in this game as well. Kenneth Omero and Troost Ekong were fantastic. I think when you consider all the criticism that's come Troost Ekong's way, you have to give him praise when he shines. He was excellent. I thought his reading of the game was brilliant. Yes, you could argue that Egypt played into the hands of the Super Eagles with their formation and played Mohamed Salah as a number 9, which didn't really make sense considering how big our centre-backs are. You'd have thought it would make sense to allow Salah to exploit the wings and use his pace. But still, Ekong read the game, snuffed out almost every chance the Egyptians had. He did not put a foot wrong. Clearances superb, tackling superb, and also Kenneth Omero. Kenneth Omero was excellent. He literally ran it back like it was the 2013 AFCON again when he was still 18 years old. He was really, 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 really good. Considering Kenneth Omero has not started that many games for the Super Eagles in recent years, I have to say he was excellent. His reading of the game was fantastic, and it was a shame he had to leave the game injured towards the end of the match. But from all reports, it looks like he's going to be fine for the second game, and he just needs to recover well. But honestly, Kenneth Omero was amazing. Both of them, fantastic. And finally, in terms of my praises, in terms of our best players for the game, our midfield double engine, Wilfred Ndidi and Joe Aribo, I thought they were amazing. Wilfred Ndidi absolutely bossed the midfield. He kept things simple, and he did what he does for Leicester best for the Super Eagles today. Very simple. Broke up play when he needs to break play. Track back whenever he needs to track back. The amount of times he won possession and was able to set the Super Eagles free on an attack, I almost stopped counting. He was so good. And him and Joe Aribo complemented themselves so well. I know I had a few fears about Joe Aribo playing a bit deep for Nigeria. But honestly, I thought it was one of Joe Aribo's best games for Nigeria as well. He was amazing. Before the tournament, I tweeted on the Nigeria Football Weekly Twitter handle that I'm most excited to watch Aribo play because I think his reputation could explode because of this tournament. And honestly, after one game, he's definitely doing himself justice. Joe Aribo was fantastic. He was everywhere. He kept it simple as well. But even in the moments when he was close to the opposition's goal, he was able to, play quite inquisitive passes. He set up Moses Simon, who could have scored. He also got the assist for Kelechi Iheanacho's goal. And his presence in the midfield was just, him and indeed just overrode the Egyptians. Honestly, it made me so happy. Guys, we were so good. So yeah, honestly, great performances by almost every player. I mean, I've literally mentioned 7 out of the starting 11. Zaidu Starisi was also decent, maybe not flashy, but he did his job very, very well. Who have I not mentioned? I thought Awoni did a good job of, especially in creating that chance for Iheanacho, because he was the one who kept the defender occupied, who headed the ball back to Aribo, who then nodded the ball to Iheanacho to score. And in terms of the only player I think who did not do himself justice was probably Samuel Chukwueze. But it looked to me like he wasn't fully match fit because normally Chukwueze would have the beating of his fullback very easily. And it looked like he struggled to beat his marker, particularly in the first half. Things improved in the second half, but I think he was trying a bit too hard and it just didn't work for Chukwueze in today's game. So imagine if Chukwueze is the normal Chukwueze we know for the Super Eagles. I think the Egyptians could have been in even bigger trouble. So hopefully we'll see Chukwueze pick things up back in the next game against Sudan. Also, I thought Sadiq Umar was a little bit poor. To be fair, you have to account for the fact that it was his Super Eagles debut. So maybe there was a bit of nerves, it's the Egyptians, but he wasn't really pressing properly. He looked like his energy was a bit off. He didn't really make the right decisions whenever he got the ball. There was a time he tried to run with the ball over an Egyptian defender, and the Egyptian defender almost looked like he was laughing, like, what's this guy doing? So I expect Sadiq Umar to go back to the bench and chill on the bench. I think he's one of those players that's very lucky that we don't have Osimhen or Igalo in camp, because if Osimhen and Igalo were in camp, I don't think Sadiq Umar would play any minutes in this AFCON. But because of the situation with our strikers at the moment, maybe he might still get 10 minutes here or there, but I fully expect Taiwo Awoniyi to continue to lead the line for Nigeria in our subsequent games. Final thoughts on the game, it was just wonderful. Shout out to Austin Erogavan. We look like the Nigeria of old. Like, we just look like we played with purpose, determination, and a game plan. Like, we played to our strengths, even though the Egyptians were really, really poor. And long may it continue. The only thing I hope in our next game is that we don't take our opponents for granted and we're a bit more clinical. We want to see a bit less 1-0s and more, 3-0, 4-0 if we can. In the other group game, Sudan drew 0-0 against Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau actually had a penalty in the last 10 minutes of the game, but it was a really, really poor penalty, so they can only blame themselves in that one. So Nigeria tops Group D. We've got 3 points, and if we win our next game, that pretty much guarantees us qualification to the next round. If Egypt and Guinea-Bissau draw that game and we get 6 points, that means that we will top the group officially. But as long as we win that game, no matter what happens in the Guinea-Bissau-Egypt game, as long as we get 1 point from our final game, we will top the group. So what a massive, massive, massive result for Nigeria. And then just quickly preview the game against Sudan. This game is on Saturday, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. So 4 p.m. in the UK. It's going to be in the same location in Garoua. So that's going to be the 15th of January. I expect Eguavoen to keep with the 4-2-3-1 formation. Madaka Okesh continue in goal. Ola Aina will definitely continue at right back. He was excellent. I expect Ekong and Omero to continue as centre-back pairing. Unless Omero is not fit enough to start, then maybe we'll see Awaziem come in. But if Awaziem is not fit to start, we will see Semi Ajayi start alongside Troost Ekong. Zedu Sanusi should continue at left back. I thought he did nothing wrong to lose his place. Ndidi and Aribo, our double engine, will continue. Iheanacho will definitely continue. I mean, he scored our winning goal. Moses Simon will definitely continue at left wing. He was unbelievable. I hope Eguavoen continues with Chukwueze, but I won't be surprised if he gives Ejike or Iwobi a go in that game. But I think Chukwueze could do with building his confidence in this second game against Sudan. And Taiwo Awoniyi will definitely lead the line for Nigeria. In terms of my score predictions, I mean, I watched the Sudan Guinea-Bissau game. As long as we're on job and we know how to break down low blocks, because a team like Sudan is just going to come and try and defend as much as possible. But even Sudan should have lost to Guinea-Bissau. So as long as we're humble, we should beat Sudan at least 3 or 4-0. But I'm going to go with 3-0 as my prediction. Nigeria 3, Sudan 0. And then just to finally round up the podcast, in terms of the other AFCON results from the match day 1. So match day 1 of AFCON is finally done. Tomorrow's going to be match day 2. So we're going to see Cameroon in action against Ethiopia and Cape Verde in action against Burkina Faso from Group A. Cameroon beat Burkina Faso 2-1 on the first day of AFCON on Sunday. Cape Verde beat Ethiopia 1-0. So Cameroon and Cape Verde both have 3 points from Group A. In Group B, we saw Senegal and Guinea both win their game. Senegal beat Zimbabwe 1-0 with the last-minute Sadio Mane penalty. And Guinea beat Malawi 1-0. So both teams currently have 3 points in their group. Morocco scored a 78th minute winner against Ghana, courtesy of former Premier League player Sofiane Boufal, who used to play at Southampton. And Gabon beat Comoros 1-0, courtesy of a goal by Aaron Bupenza. He plays in the Turkish league. Very, very good goal as well. In Group D, we saw Algeria draw 0-0 against Sierra Leone. It was probably one of the shocks of the tournament. To be fair, the Sierra Leone goalkeeper was in tears after getting his Man of the Match award. And Ivory Coast beat Equatorial Guinea 1-0 earlier today. So shout out to Max Grado. It was a fantastic goal. I think it was one of the best goals we've seen in AFCON alongside Kelechi Iheanacho's goal. And then finally in Group E, we saw Tunisia lose 1-0 to Mali in what was probably the most bizarre game of AFCON so far. The referee from Zambia, I don't know what he was thinking, but he blew for the final whistle after 85 minutes and decided that he was going to... He restarted the game and then blew the final whistle with 89 minutes and about 47 minutes gone from the... 47 seconds gone from the clock. So I don't know what he was doing, but he had a shocker and the news went all over the world, which was a shame. Gambia, in their debut in AFCON, also beat Mauritania earlier today. So shout out to Gambia. It was a fantastic goal as well. So what's the theme of AFCON so far? There have been a total of 12 games. And out of the 12 games, we've seen 1-0 wins in every game except 3 games. So we've had 9 1-0 wins, 2 0-0s, and we've got the opening game where Cameroon beat Burkina Faso 2-1, courtesy of 2 penalties for Vincent Abubakar. So I'm hoping that once match day 2 comes around, with obviously the more familiarity that the players have, and also the fact that everyone's played their first game, so they know where they stand, we're going to see a lot more goals that will bring the tournament even into more life. So that's it for this episode of the podcast. Thanks for rocking with me. I must say I'm absolutely buzzing. I can't contain myself, to be honest. And I'm just looking forward to Saturday against Sudan. Please remember to share and spread the word with your friends. AFCON is on. If they want to learn about Nigerian football or how we're getting on the tournament, just tell them to listen to the Nigerian Football Weekly on YouTube or stream us on any of the streaming platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or even online. You can find us everywhere. Thanks again for rocking with me. I've been your host, Oloke. And up the Super Eagles, I'll be back to review our games after Sudan on Saturday. Peace out. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get a notification whenever we drop a video. You can also find our social media channels listed below. And of course, up Super Eagles and Nigeriano the ever carry last.